Well, there you are again. Charlie Greer podcast. I do this every day. Today, the Delphi murders, the case logic. Let's just go by uh, what law enforcement has said about the case. We'll just like kind of go in a linear fashion. Again, pray for Abby and Libby. Pray for the families. Pray for the law enforcement, man. Pray for everybody. Spread the blessings. And thanks for coming to my podcast. Thanks for checking it out. So, let's just start. People know about the case. I'm not going to break down the case. So let's just start with what they first told us was girls were murdered February 2017. They release a picture of a guy on a bridge. Further info. Anybody knows any further information about this guy? Okay. Then they release a sketch. Um, so that was the first. So let's just break that down. So they know that some guy on a bridge. Oh, and they released it down the hill, the audio. Uh, and that's their guy. You know, it seems simple. You would think that, like, oh, just go get it. I mean, I've lived in a small town. I know how people know everything about everybody. How could they not talk? That's another strange thing. It's like small towns. Well, see, I know so. His boy played football with my boy. Well, he and I went to, just it's. You can't keep up with it. It's just maybe there is, but see, people don't talk to outsiders. Maybe they fear something. I don't know. So he's the guy, bridge guy. We got his voice. It was kind of weird that he was short and stubby. Now he's tall. I mean, I guess that's compressing video. I don't know. Transferring video will do that. Somebody else would know. Oh, and another thing, I'm amateur hour on the case and true crime. I do everything in my podcast. There's a lot better podcasters out there that'll give you real information. I mean, mine is real too, but they're really good. They that's what they do. So check them out. Um, so that's who the bridge guy. That's him. We got his voice and I guess they put like billboards all over America, I think. So and I think they were talking about there was okay, that's the first, that's the case. The logic of the case is, hey, there's this dude, and we got him on video and audio. Then they switch gears by their own words. They switch gears. Now they're saying that he is local. They know it. He might be in the room. And here's another picture of a dude that looks like 20 years younger than the other guy. Like, huh? Could you imagine? I mean, what? That's the thing I can't get over. I mean, again, I'm not pointing a finger at the law enforcement, but it's like, think about it. Is there another case where they did like I know that they're taunting the suspect, but they're kind of like taunting us too. I mean, the public, everybody. I mean, we live in this world, even if we're not from that town, come on. Isn't there like a case, you got to do certain things in case? I don't know. I've never seen I've never. Where, yeah, by the way, he might be in this room. Dun, dun, dun. Like, what is that? I can't get over that. How many people were in that room? Couldn't they like lock the door and just talk to everybody? And I mean, wouldn't the public be looking around, be like, let's string him up? I'd be, what is that? I don't get it. And then those two, they said between the two, you'll find, is that a reference of like a father and son, perhaps? Like they're going to look like each other because they're father and son. And they're looking into kind of a father and son, KK and TK, whatever, people using initials. Then we get well, they haven't said anything about this, but we know they pulled out the dude, KK, I think that's what it. And for a day, that's weird. I've never heard of anything except that they would take somebody out to go show them where something is buried, and they're looking around. I think they're looking. We saw pictures of like a river, or was it a creek? I'm sorry, I don't know. I bet they were looking at other places. I bet they were maybe other electronic devices. Maybe, I don't know. They're not telling us. And what they did tell us back was like, he might be in the room. That again is just like, oh, no, you didn't. Just say, yeah, you did. I mean, think about that. You haven't talked about the case in a while, then you get up there and you're just like, tell you, the killer, directly, who might be in this room. Could you, the shock? I mean, now we've seen it 1,000 times, but if you're sitting there, what was your reaction? I didn't hear, you would think that people would be reacting. Like you would hear like, I guarantee if they did that in Los Angeles, there would be a mother pushing a stroller would be trying to find out who everybody would, I don't get it. Again, is there a YouTuber that was there? Did somebody record it on their phone, like just a local, or the audio on their phone? Do they have it? I bet there's stuff that people have that they don't want to share quite yet. People are scared, man. People are, especially if it's something to do with like some kind of power structure, like people that are in power. Believe me, people are people. People commit crimes. There's a criminal element to certain people's personalities. 5 to 8% of the population is psychopathic, man. We've all met them. We all know them. Shit. I mean, come on. Just because you're, I'm so-and-so, he's a perfect. No. Read the good book. That'll tell you something. That's where it all dwells. Nobody's exempt from anything, man. Unless you're working on yourself and have faith and praying, you might mosey on into some criminal shit. Crime is weird. Sometimes you're not even trying to commit a crime, and all of a sudden it's, what I do? Is that what happened? Is that why they're saying that, like, he's never done this before? Because maybe they were going to reveal a secret, or they stumbled up onto a secret. I don't know. Did they see something? And we're like, oh, damn, that's so-and-so, and that's so-and-so. What the? Is that why the dude came at him like, hey, down the hill, like, Oh, and they released, I forgot to say, they released the Anthony shots. That's kind of when I went down the rabbit hole. I'd heard about it, like in the background. I never YouTubed it or anything. And then that Anthony shots, what was that, in 2021? Anyway, so like, yay, they were catfished, and we've seen it. I've seen people's YouTube videos of there's been some great breakdowns of that interview with KK. And how he's acting. Again, I can't put my finger on this arrogance that these people have. And quite honestly, how he looks. Like, he don't look like the dude that would be, he's not a Brad Pitt kind of, That's something weird when you're getting your confidence from, because that's where people get their, I'm handsome, I'm this, that, no. This guy looks like Jabba the Hutt, man. He's shit. He fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch. And look, I'm not trying to point, hey, again, I'm sorry. But where's he getting he's just like cool as a cucumber, and then kind of arrogant and defiant. Is that the sign of that is a sign of a sociopath or narcissist, psychopath, like the cops question, they sound even more, I don't know. Like when you're reading the transcript, because I haven't read it myself, I watched these YouTube videos when they broke it down. Case logic, like what makes sense? What's the logic here? Is there another case where anybody could name where they've shifted gears and the dude might be in the room? And well, if he's in the room, you're the cop. Won't you, huh? What? They don't have enough info. They don't have enough, evidence. That's the only reason why you wouldn't go swoop in and get him. And why would you want the public to know? Because the public would, you don't want, I mean, come on. It doesn't make any sense to me. Forget about POIs and all this other stuff. Like, what makes sense here? And why is it taking so long? And why don't they let other people get involved? Like some kind of and then there an oversight committee that kind of, especially we're dealing with minors. Again, pray for these kids and their family. If they're minors, can't some, they're not of age. Can't some independent body say, hey, we kind of monitor this stuff for underage kids, so we're going to come in. Could that be a thing? I don't know. I would think so. I would think that somebody would be like, oh yeah, we got this. You would think. Why don't they do another presser? Just to speak in generalities. Like, yeah, it's been a while, we're on the right track. See, we've done, of course. We can't speak about certain, bye. Just like a quick kind of like, okay, don't freak out, everybody. I know you have to hold stuff back in a criminal case, but isn't there a smidgen of something they could, the last, I guess, thing that they released was the Anthony shots. Coming from a person we've never seen before. This dude, have you ever seen that dude before? The guy, like, yeah, I'm here with him. It's like another cast of characters. You got to, like, who was that? And then bye. Just, here's a phone number and an email and then to find out they already knew about that. They knew. And at first, nobody knew who Anthony Schutz was. It took, I think, about a day or two before they figured out it was Anthony. So the cops already knew this. They wouldn't say that they knew. Again, is that something you hold back? So you're, hold on, my dog. So you don't like, I don't know. A strange, mysterious world we live in, I guess. But I just think that if and why are they so confident he won't do it again or he hasn't done it again? Wouldn't you want to, I don't know, arrest him on something? If he's doing that, he's got to be doing some kind of, if they're so confident and they're saying he may be in the room, wouldn't they want to wouldn't they follow him? Wouldn't they have 24-hour day, 7 days a week, just, out of like a movie or something where you got like, are they doing that? Maybe they are. Again, pardon me, for the law enforcement, I get it. It's a tough, especially they've never dealt with something like this. Everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. It's human behavior, man. Nobody's exempt from that. Nobody's like, no, you're going to be making a mistake. We all do. The only thing is when you're in this, you got the spotlight on you and it's something, pretty important. People react to that. They kind of say, well, no, the police officers might be doing their best, but it comes off like there's so many mistakes. Oh, don't bring the search dogs or whatever. That calling off the search and, there's certain things that they've admitted. But on the other hand, that means you need help. You need some experienced people that's all they do. They've had a career. They've worked for, maybe is it so complicated and sophisticated, this crime, that even they don't get, like, have they called them in and they're like, wow, I don't know. Or is it that they don't want to, like when I watched that police for the sheriff, the debate, there was 3 of them there. 2 of them were like, no, they won't let us. And the other guy's like, no, we've had people, look, we don't, Is this kind of behavior like everywhere? Is this how small town USA is now? Like just dealing with, a lot of, there's not that, I don't know. Other people live out. You could say, is there a case that where someone has said he might be in the room? That is strange. That is weird. And he looks flustered when he's saying it too. Matter of fact, all the videos I've seen, it's the only time I've seen he looks like it almost seems like he's digesting it as he's reading it. Like he hadn't read this before. There's like, get out there and read is that what happened? Did they want a reaction? To get a reaction from certain people, they had to, maybe they think people are talking behind the scenes. They'd had to bum rush everybody. They had to get the reaction. You're going to get a reaction out of everybody because you don't want people to have this for a couple hours. And maybe the guy they said was in the room disconnect. He'd read it too. Did Doug Carter even get a chance to let that sink in before he just hand it to him? Like they'd hand you a piece of paper and right before you're going, oh, by the way, no, that wasn't that. Here you go, read this one. And he just had a glance of it, like, what in the hell? Hello, rubbing his head. That's kind of how my gut feeling is telling me that maybe that, again, this is a humble opinion. I don't know. I don't claim to know. I wish I did know. I mean, duh, we all wish we knew. But is that what happened? Did they, just to get a real reaction out of the person they wanted to, they had to do it everybody had to react. Or maybe they were looking for reactions everywhere. They don't know who to trust. I don't know. These things you would do if you were law enforcement. See, I'm not law enforcement, but I know that I would, if you have the powers that be, and you, again, they know more than we do. They say there's one, piece of evidence away. What would that be? Somebody telling on him? Because they say that they think that he's told someone, or they know because he's changed since he. And would that happen? Say it was a reactionary murder, like you've never murdered, but something come up, some situation where like you lost your mind and you committed double murder, crazy homicide. To go back to act normal, wouldn't you be a little off? You've never done it before. Maybe. Because they're saying that, like, oh, he's never done it. That's another thing. He's never done it, but why won't you tell us why? How would you, again, would you have to keep that for the trial? Will there be a trial? I know this past week that popped me off again on this case is that the scuba divers that they've had, there's new stuff going on. And it's being released through like YouTube. We know about this because of like a YouTube channel. Again, the logic, the crazy. I've never, and those YouTubers say they have an insider. Wouldn't that make the case like, I don't know if you're leaking stuff out, wouldn't it make it wouldn't be able to bring it to court? I don't know. You would think that they would, or maybe that's what they're doing. They can't really. And there's again like two thoughts in this. There's people that kind of go by the book, and the other people are like, well, that didn't work, so let's just try this and leak some. Wouldn't you lose your job if you were leaking stuff out? It's small area. Wouldn't you kind of? I don't know. Again, the logic doesn't make sense in this case. Maybe they've had to do it because it's like, oh my God, it's just we have to, but you would need help. That's another thing that kind of like frustrates me. It's like, okay, then ask in. And they said the FBI, but didn't the FBI, the guy that they're helping, didn't he get something not involved in this case, but another case? Didn't he like get caught up in some kind of corruption? I'm pretty sure he did. So maybe the FBI that looked at, again, and also that elite kind of power structure, it's a small world. A lot of times when you get in that, you're told what to do. You don't think that you're told what to do. No, we're not doing this. It's okay. Well, we don't make, well, And then above the guy telling him not to what to do, he's told what to do, and then the other guy's told what to mean. It's a thing. You know, it's crime is weird. Like if we don't think along those lines. Like in Goodfellas, the mobster Paulie, he's like a capo or whatever he is. But his position in the mob, of course, he's an earner, but he polices the bad guys. Like when you're dealing with bad guys in a secret society, the mafia, you're dealing with crazy. So you have to have a dude, Paulie, that'll police those dudes. Like even the criminal organization have a police themselves. That's what there's a scene in Goodfellas where they're zooming in on Paulie and he's like eating a sandwich in the backyard. There's like a fence behind him. That's what they're saying. They break it down like he polices the bad guys. That's what he. So even that's the point I'm trying to make. That's weird. Crime is weird. So are the police being policed? I guess you always have to have someone policing the people. I don't know. It's not what we think. We think that it's a certain way when it's not. When district attorneys are probably more important with their success rate than they are, and has this district attorney that's in charge of this done any like serious cases like this? Has he dealt with double homicide, some kind of weird? And there's also catfishing involved. It's a cyber crime. It's this, that, and the other. They're admitting that this Kagan Klein character who started, it was Kagan Klein or KK, I should say, with the Anthony shots. He admits he started that profile, and he admits he contacted Libby, but he didn't remember. I mean, it's just like, huh? So has the DA dealt with like a horrible double homicide? Plus, it involves cybercrime and catfishing, and just can't you assign like a special DA to come in and like assist? Like, still let that guy get his credit. Hey, he's been on the, but or a team of, you would think they'd get somebody in there and be like, oh yeah, see, or is it so convoluted now that they, anybody that looks at it just like, whoa, Because I also listened to a podcast and they said that there was a gas station footage, and I don't know if it was the FBI or somebody who they corrupted it. Like, oh, I'm sorry, we deleted it, didn't get the chance to see it. Like that's suspicious. Because somebody was saying the protocol is because shit gets corrupted, but you have to first play it when you first get there, play it in their system. Everybody videotape the screen, so they know what they're looking at. Okay, we've got this. At least we have this. So when you pull out your hard drive or whatever it is they have, and then go back, that they at least have some kind of record of what was going on. Did they do that? And I know about corruption in computer, but what is it? A thumb drive, a hard drive? Wouldn't you just be able to? You're the experts. Don't you have some kind of like computers, and you could just hook that up to your little special? Again, this case, like, what? It's just over and over. No, sent the dogs away. No, corrupted the video. No, it won't show anybody. It's like dealing. That's another probably reason why this case kind of. I'm interested in it, and it's kind of affected me because of these elements, the logic, the and kind of like that. Again, a lot of people connected with this. I'm going to name it are arrogant and confident. Like, yeah, that's okay. I at first I thought this won't be solved because of all the crazy stuff, and then this past week I was like, well, maybe they're on the right track. So now I'm on the fence. I'm hoping to get solved. Pray for Abby and Libby. Pray for their parents. Pray for their family. Pray for law enforcement, man. Pray for everybody involved. Spread the blessings. It's tough. If if you're a Christian, you got to pray for Judas just as well as Jesus, man. I mean, come on, can't judge unless you'll be judged. You got to keep an open mind about it. Again, you want to a little you don't want to be is it the world we're living in? Is that what we're experiencing right now? It's just everywhere. Again, there ain't no place you can go. There's just certain things that will always be. There's let's just say, again, my personal opinion, my humble opinion, speculation. Let's just say that there's no corruption. Absolutely. But there's been mistakes made. What does that tell us? They need help. You're human. You've never dealt with a case like this. So bring in some experts. Like every expert, or a chance to. Because when I was watching the police debate, the guy said there was a bunch of groups waiting and been turned away. What is that? Under the guys like, no, we can't release info into the cases. And then the one guy was like, no, we're doing the right thing. We're out on track. We're just, we've had the FBI, but was it I don't know. And it doesn't seem like the locals are talking. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't there be people that, I guess if you live there, maybe if you know something, it's for one, you don't want to be a mark or dry snitching or whatever it is, but you also, it seems like most of the people that are from not from there, like the YouTubers and stuff like that, are from all over. There's people all over the world that are interested in this case. And again, I'm amateur hour, man. I'm not there's people that are really good. They have the whole setup, the YouTube setup. They know how to look at their analytics. I don't even know how to go in and see how many views. None of that. I'm like, oh, well, that's the again. I'm old school. I'm in my 50s, man. I'm not delusional. So there's people that are better, a lot better. I'm not going to name names because I just don't want but check them out. Just you know who they are. They're all good. I like them all. Well, I mean, and I kind of wish they'd all have like a Zoom conference thing and like try not to argue too much and this because I've said this before. I think that even with different kind of perspectives, they're right. It's just this case is so weird that if we could align all the stuff that people have together, we might actually know exactly what's going on. That's what a think tank is. Nowadays, it's probably not. There's people that think the same, but what you'd want to do is you want to get like, back in the day, they'd get a scientist, a theologian, an engineer, just so everybody had, I don't know. I would think that again, the logic here is crazy. It's hard even to keep a linear kind of like timeline because you have to go back and then there's what and shift gears and what I'm in reverse now. What am I doing? And don't look at his head. Look at how he walks and look at his legs and you're asking a lot. That's a lot to ask out of people. Like, huh, what? See, let me put my glasses on. I don't know. Just the logic of the case. Forget about speculation and people like name and subject, POI, or whoever. Just kind of following the And why haven't they done a presser, man? When was the last one? Like 2019, maybe? I mean, they did release the Anthony shots, but it was from someone we didn't know. It was a law enforcement officer I've never seen before. This young dude. Wouldn't Doug Carter want to be our Tobe? I mean, they're familiar. There's a familiar face that I don't get it. I do not get it. I mean, Have they complicated things on accident? Again, human behavior. Could you even get this to go to trial? Is maybe that's what they're going like, man, there's so many mistakes and stuff. A good lawyer, a team of lawyers will no. So they need a confession, maybe, because they know when it goes to discovery and all this stuff and the stuff they've seen, and oh my God, it'd be thrown out just because of like not conspiracy, not corruption, conspiracy, none of that. Just human behavior. People have never worked on a hard case like that, so they, we're human, man. We make mistakes. Everybody breaks a guitar string. Shit, I mean, it's just. Is that what it is? Because they don't seem like they're talking about going to trial. Would they need like someone just to like, yeah, I did it, okay, and then they plead, and then they get sentenced? I mean, I don't see this going to trial, man. Can you imagine the trial? Lot to think about. But it's moving forward. It's slowly. They got divers in the river. They got metal detectors. They're finding stuff. Maybe they know what they're looking for. Maybe they were told. Maybe it was just thrown there, so they're too rusty, or maybe it was 5 years, 6 years. Who knows? Maybe they've got CIs, like confidential informants, that know stuff, and they know these people are telling the truth because it matches their evidence. But it's second, third fiddle. Like it's not second, third hand info. And then there's another guy that came forward, and they know that's right because that's the track that they're on. It's the same as the first CI. That kind of stuff. Is that what's going on? Could be, perhaps. Let's pray again for those families, man. For those kids. Let's today's the day kind of thing. Justice. That's what we need in this case. Well, thank everybody for watching. I love y'all. I do this every day. Not necessarily on the Delphi murders, but I rant and rave about everything. So I'll see you tomorrow. Be blessed. Cheers.